Hello, and welcome to the Lakers Exceptionalism YouTube. Luka Doncic has justifiably earned a bad reputation for his often poor effort and execution on defense. Even in high-leverage situations like last year's playoffs, he showed why he can be a liability. Now, he wasn't 100% and he was certainly banged up, but that's no excuse for some of this poor effort. Here's some relevant B-ball index data throughout the years. He has the second highest D LeBron of his career, the highest perimeter isolation defense, the second highest rim protection, and the highest help defense talent. Since coming to the Lakers, Luka has shown he has the ability to slide his feet, make multiple efforts, and take on difficult matchups without being a traffic cone. He uses his length well and can force shooters into some difficult pull-ups. Oftentimes, an off-ball player will get the ball with Luka guarding them and will attack, thinking it's a good matchup for them. But Luka doesn't make it easy. He still has the same weaknesses, mainly when defending athletic finishers in space. He can be slow-footed and vulnerable to explosive first steps. Effort goes a long way on defense. Even with athletic limitations, Luka has been locked in on ball more than he hasn't. He's been a highly engaged defender and can read offenses extremely well. Here he blows up a double drag, recognizing it instantly and knowing what he needs to do. Shoot the gap and switch on ball. He's also pretty good with his hands. and tracks the ball to get swipes, pokes, deflections, and steals. And here's some off-ball defense metrics for Luka. He has the third best help defense activity of his career, by far the best passing lane defense, and tied for the second most defensive miles per 75 possessions. Luka's been pretty engaged and active off the ball, where he's been able to time and execute closeouts and use his length to his advantage. He's been pretty good at sprinting to closeouts and slowing down while contesting without fouling. But there's still glimpses of the old Luka, with lazy closeouts, low effort, and overextending his closeout. As a switcher, he's been fantastic at communicating and understanding what is expected of him in different actions. His activity and engagement often papers over his shortcomings by being in the right position at the right time. Here he and Austin execute a fantastic off-ball switch and it blows up the Hornets' play, forcing them into a late shot clock freelance attempt. And here he and DFS do the same thing, where LA will take the chance of Zubats hitting a tough jump hook over the chance of Harden using the screen to get middle. Luka uses his basketball IQ to anticipate rotations as he recognizes when and where he needs to rotate to. And his size and strength helps him execute on ball denials on big wings and bigs. Luka uses small positioning adjustments and excellent timing to put him in position to take away opportunities and make defensive plays. His defensive awareness helps him identify opportunities, and his elite playmaking ability translates to the other end of the court, where he can recognize the right read quicker than the offensive player and makes a break for the passing angle. Combined positioning adjustments, keeping his head on a swivel, and reading potential playmaking opportunities, and he's been a menace in the passing lanes. This one's my personal favorite. Gordon tries to be fancy with a no-look pass, but the fake doesn't fool Luka as he already knows the correct read, and it isn't to the left where there's no advantage. But he can be prone to gambling, and when it doesn't work out, it leaves the team in scramble mode, where they'll need someone to recover and make a play, or give up an open look. There's also been some miscommunications with teammates, where sometimes they'll rotate two guys to the same place. Luka's best and most consistent off-ball skill is his rebounding, where he's usually pinched down to the block and can use his size and length to end possessions. The most important aspect of Luka's strong defensive start with the Lakers is his ability to execute their game plan. Lately, when healthy, LA has been icing side ball screens and deploying a strong side zone in isolation situations. The on-ball defender's job is to deny middle, funneling the ball handler to the strong side helper, as the weak side defenders stay ready to rotate and recover when the ball skips over to the weak side. The goal in this coverage is to force the star to drive into traffic, take a contested pull-up, or take the ball out of the star or shot creator's hands and force them to reverse it. All three are wins for the defense. Luka's on-ball weaknesses are present here too, where he can sometimes allow the ball handler to get middle despite shading them toward the baseline. He's also executing the scheme as the low man, asked to strong side zone or soft double and retreat back when the ball gets reversed. The Lakers call this coverage green, where you can communicate to the perimeter player that you're in position to strong side zone.
Hey, I'm in the green. Green!
Even if the offense can make their floater or mid-range pull-ups, this defense helps filter the offense's attempts into a more beneficial situation for the Lakers. This is how LA's defense has been dictating terms to the offenses instead of vice versa. When offenses try to clear out a side and disguise their isolation situations to catch LA off guard, Luka and the scheme decide to pass off cutters to remain in this green coverage. Another aspect of LA's scheme is calling sporadic reds, or fire coverage, where two defenders trap the on-ball player and force the ball somewhere else. However, it's not ideal to have Luka as one of the two trappers. You don't even have to listen close and you can hear JJ scream fire from the sidelines.
Collins, Marketing, and Clarkson. JC looking for more.
Sometimes instead of screaming his head off, JJ will simply motion to the player he wants to come up. It's much better when Luka can use his read skills and rotation ability as an off-ball defender in these situations. And after a timeout in late game situations, JJ tells the guys to fire as soon as Jalen Brunson crosses half court. And here, Luka's able to do just enough to make Josh Hart waste enough time to not get a shot off in regulation. Another aspect of the Lakers scheme is what JJ Redick calls the compact shell. This aspect predates Luka being on the team, but they're executing it better than ever. Some call this being connected on defense, but it's about the team shading a step away from their off-ball player while still being in a position to close out and safely recover when the ball gets moved. It's rim protection by committee and perimeter isolation defense without elite point of attack containment. It takes a ton of awareness, engagement, and constant positioning and repositioning as offenses move around constantly. Watch these possessions and keep an eye on LA's compact shell, and notice how all five players are engaged, pinching in, and expanding out over and over, repeatedly covering for each other. Luka and the Lakers wouldn't have this level of success without the relentless effort, energy, disruption, and engagement of guys like Vando, DFS, Gabe, and Jackson. Gabe, Vando, and DFS this possession to see how they're everywhere, doing the dirty work and being stars in their roles. DFS isn't the most athletic guy, but his help defense IQ is elite. His effort and awareness to maintain LA's compact shell doesn't always look loud, but his impact definitely is. Vando is super athletic, but he also has a high level of defensive awareness. Here, Luka calls for the switch on the wrong side, not seeing the screen got flipped. But Vando knows where he needs to be. Luka is happy to pass off the ball handler into a positive matchup for LA, where Vando can execute this contest much better, and Vando's ready for it. Here, Gabe doesn't just give up and leave Luka alone on an island. He instead trails and pokes the ball from behind and gets a defensive play. And here, Gabe's defensive awareness helps cover up for a Luka turnover and gamble. The green coverage helps Jackson get into position early instead of traveling from point A to point B and pick up fouls. Folks, that is why a healthy Lakers team has been one of the league's best defenses. Thanks for watching.